All right, for today's workout, all you're gonna need is 2 dumbbells. I would say on the medium to heavier side. I'm using a pair of 30 pounders and then just some space on the floor for the second movement. So today's is a nice and short and sweet workout, one of my favorites. It is 2 movements and we're doing a descending rep scheme. So it's going to be 20 of each of the 2 movements, which I'm going to show you in 1 second here, then 16 of each of the 2, and then 10, and the numbers will make sense in just a moment. So let's go over the 2 movements. With the dumbbells, we're going to be doing double dumbbell deadlifts. That's a mouthful. So we're going to grab those dumbbells, nice flat back. Our feet are going to be hip width apart. We're going to hinge our hips, keeping our back nice and flat till our dumbbells touch the ground, and then we're gonna stand back up, hinging our hips again. Let me show you a couple of those. Notice how I'm really trying to keep my back nice and flat, pinching my shoulder blades back, and really hinging at my hips. I'll show you a few from the front as well, if that's helpful. But thinking about that side angle, I think is really the perspective you want. That hips back, weight on your heels, leading with your chest, keeping your shoulders down and back the whole time. So once we do those, the next movement is going to be our alternating V-up. So what this looks like is lying on your back. You're gonna have your legs fully extended and your arms extended overhead. And the goal with this is initially to make sure your low back is touching the ground. So if you're like this and I can slide my hand under there, that's gonna put a lot of extra stress on your low back, and we're gonna try to avoid that. So instead, I'm gonna do a posterior pelvic tilt or tip my hips back. Now I got my back touching the ground. I'm in a good position. My abdominal muscles are engaged. If I can't maintain that with legs straight, which is difficult, I'm just gonna bend my knees a little bit. And at the bottom of the movement, we'll just maintain that little bend. If you need a little more bend to help you keep your back flat, I'm totally fine with that. So now with the movement, arms overhead, legs in your extended position with your low back on the ground, you're gonna reach up opposite arm and leg and meet in the middle and touch. I end up meeting close to above my belt line. It doesn't have to be perfect, but once you touch, now we're back to the ground, back to our initial starting position. That's 1 repetition. And then I switch opposite arm and leg. That's 2, 3, 4, etc. Okay? So just to review, the workout is, again, it's 20 double dumbbell deadlifts. I'm gonna do 20 in a row. If I get through halfway or 3/4 and I need to take a little break, totally fine. I just set them down, take a few breaths, take my break, pick them right back up and continue. You just need to get through all 20 before you move to the next movement. So once I finish my 20 deadlifts, then I have 20 alternating deadlifts, which will end up being 10 per side. Then round 2 is 16 deadlifts, 16 alternating V-ups, 8 per side. And then finally, 10 deadlifts and 10 alternating V-ups, 5 per side. We're trying to complete that as quickly as possible while maintaining good form, while not being frantic or anything like that. The goal should be just to move steady at a nice steady clip the whole time. If you need to take a little break at any point to catch your breath, take a sip of water, anything like that, that's totally appropriate. But I would say try to minimize those things as much as possible. This workout's gonna be a pretty short one, which you'll be surprised with, and I think it's a good way to turn up the intensity, make it challenging, and then be done with it, okay? So I'm going to set the timer, and we are gonna start in 10 seconds with those 20 double dumbbell deadlifts. 3, 2, 1, and begin. 20 deadlifts. Keeping your back nice and flat. Shoulder blades down and back. sure you're breathing. Once you get to 20, set those down onto the ground. Now we have our 20 alternating V-ups, making sure that low back stays touching the ground. Each time you touch your leg, it's worth 1. All the way to 20. Once you get to 20, we're back to our feet. Now we're on a round of 16. Weight on your heels, shoulders down and back, chest up, nice flat back. Remember, if you need to take a break at any point, that's okay. Just resume where you left off once you resume. Once we finish those 16, we're back to our backs for alternating V-ups. This is round number 2 of 3. Make sure that low back stays touching the ground. Even if you need to bring your knees a little higher up. These get challenging. Once you finish 16, we are back to our feet for the final round, and it's only 10. Make sure you keep good form, shoulders down and back, nice good posture. 10 times. And after those 10, set your weights down for the last time. Our final 10 alternating V-ups on our back. Making sure that low back stays touching the ground. And done. Once you finish those 10, back to your feet, you're all finished. If you're done already, that was less than 4.5 minutes. Great job. Now I want you to think about bringing your heart rate down. Big inhale, if you can make it through your nose, even better. Slow exhale, you can come out of your mouth at first. Once you've done a couple rounds of that, see if you can let that inhale come out of your nose as well. And then if you can slow it down, nice slow exhale. Big inhale, slow exhale. And you'll feel that bring your heart rate down pretty rapidly, which is helpful after doing something like this, that we just crank it up, turn the heart rate up. Now we bring it back down with control, and then we move on. Awesome job. Good work today.